Have you ever hit record and suddenly forgot how to talk as you normally do? You know exactly what you want to say. You've said it 1,000 times in your head, but once the camera turns on, you freeze, overthink every word, and sound nothing like yourself. That's not a confidence problem. That's a brain problem. And once you understand it, talking on camera gets a lot easier. Here's what's actually happening. When you turn on the camera, your brain treats it like a performance, not a conversation. And the moment your brain thinks, oh no, I'm being evaluated, it shifts from your natural intuitive speaking to self-monitoring mode. That's when you start rehearsing sentences mid-sentence, judging how you sound while you're talking, and trying to say things the right way instead of your way. As a natural introvert who tends to think more internally than externally, this has happened to me a lot in many different circumstances. What's important is that I'm aware of it so that when I notice it, I can shift out of it. Your brain isn't helping you speak, it's watching you speak. That's why everything suddenly feels stiff and not right. If you've ever felt more fluent explaining something to a friend than to a camera, this is why. Most people try to fix this by scripting harder, memorizing lines, and telling themselves to relax. But what I've found is overthinking is not the root problem. The real issue is identity conflict. On camera, your brain hasn't fully accepted I'm someone who speaks out loud while figuring things out. So your brain tries to protect you by slowing you down, filtering you, and second-guessing everything. This is something I've had to work on repeatedly to protect my self-image, my identity, and my confidence. The moment you try to sound smart, you stop sounding natural because real communication doesn't come from thinking faster. It comes from trusting the thought as it's forming. Do you notice yourself editing thoughts before they're even finished? Here's the shift that changes everything. Stop trying to speak well and start thinking out loud. This has helped me a lot. When you think out loud, your pacing improves, your tone relaxes, and you start sounding like you again. This works because your brain already knows how to process out loud. It just doesn't think it's allowed to on camera yet. So instead of asking, how can I say this perfectly? Ask, how would I explain this to someone who's curious? That single reframe moves you out of performance and back into connection. Who are you subconsciously trying to impress when you overthink? Here's the part most people don't expect. Talking gets easier after you post, not before. Because every time you show up imperfectly and survive it, your brain updates. Oh, this is safe now. The same could be said about sales, about public speaking, about leadership roles, anything you want to apply it to. Fluency isn't built through preparation. It's built through repetition with emotional safety. That's why people who just talk eventually sound confident, even if they weren't at the start. Now here's a mental health tip. If you overthink on camera, nothing is wrong with you. Your brain just hasn't caught up to the version of you who speaks freely yet. And the fastest way to help it catch up is to keep showing up as you are, mid-thought and all. If this resonated, hit like so more creators can find this too, and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. Also, let me know in the comments, do you overthink more before you speak or while you're speaking? You know exactly what you want to say, but talking on camera, your brain, oh no, I'm being evaluated. Your brain treats it like that's when you start, instead of, I'm being evaluated, trying to say things as a natural introvert. It comes from editing thoughts before they're even, trusting thoughts. Ever notice real communication doesn't come from, because